Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Wednesday, and it is January 4th. The market it kind of regained its footing today a little bit, and it did move. It did move up nicely in some respects. I've been concentrating on shorting. And I did close some shorts. I had a small gain, but I'm down on two stocks currently. I did short Microsoft, and I did close that early. That one did pretty good. Also, I did short Apple as it moved down. Interesting thing is happening with GE, General Electric. They're going to spin off their healthcare, their healthcare division. And one of the things that is very, very bullish is when a division is spun off. And definitely GE has done well in the first day of trading. So GE Healthcare is the new company name. GEHC is going to be the new symbol for this one, but definitely one to watch. We're still in a downward trend on the market, so it's kind of good to be very protective of your capital right now. Really, I wouldn't be any more than about 50% in the market. Primarily, I'm pretty much 100% cash or short. I did close a long-term long position that I had today on BP, basically for no money. It was kind of frustrating, but I did close it today. Just want to show you this very interesting deal here. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully, this is GE. And we had a very nice movement up, and it is looking very, very good. This is the underlying stock. This is GE, but GE Healthcare was also up too. It's up about 6% today, and GE Healthcare was up about 8%. So something you might want to look into. I haven't really been trading it that much. Currently, I have no stocks long. I did, as I said earlier, I did sell my position in BP. And then, basically I held it for almost 2 months and nothing. I just basically got out there pretty much with what I had in it. So not that great. Now with my shorts, I do have two stocks that I'm holding short, and that is AutoNation and Discover Financial Services. Both of those were up today. So I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here or not. But I did definitely short both of them. Hopefully, we'll have a retracement here by tomorrow. We'll see. Discover was up a whopping 4%, almost 4%. Price change about $4.27. Now, I had shorted it as it moved down on Tuesday, but it moved up today, up to the 21-day moving average. Same with AutoNation, not quite as bad. So I don't know what's going to happen here. Hopefully that was a short cover, and we're gonna see a reversal. I don't know exactly what the deal is there, but without further ado, let's get into some of the questions that everybody has. Thank you so much for holding on here. Let's go over here to okay, Dan. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And let's see if I can get that flipped over. There we go. So Dan, basically. Happy New Year. Thanks. So Lilly, thoughts on Lilly and HL. Let's look at Lilly first. Lilly has been a stock that a lot of people have liked this stock. Let's go to LLY. But, again, this is in the healthcare area, which has been one of the better performing areas in the market as of late. But it has come down, and it has basically just gone down to the 50-day moving average. This typically is a good place to buy them. But, the problem this year has been, normally we would want to buy on a reversal. We want to buy when it came down to the moving averages. But some of these stocks have come down the moving averages. They've just continued to go lower. So right now the market is in a pullback. But the question is it buyable here? Well, it's basically off after hours. So that's showing us that at least for right now, somebody is wanting, at least some of the people are selling it. Now, this is one of the premier healthcare stocks, and it has a lot of institutional support. I mean, if we look at the ownership here, I mean, they're over 4,000 over 4,000 different funds that are in this one as of December. So very, very large cap, very good earnings. Let's also take a look over at kind of what their fundamentals are. Remember, when we look at the charts, that's technical analysis, but when we look at the earnings potential, that's fundamental analysis. And remember, the fundamental analysis here for Lilly is extremely good. I mean, they were up, their sales were up 2% last quarter with a rise in profits, rise in earnings per share of 12%. Now, none of this is spectacular like you would see probably in some of the tech stocks, but in this market, this is one of the stronger stocks. I mean, if you look at the price to earnings ratio of 44, that's not out of line for a stock that has as many drugs in the pipeline as Lilly does. Cash flow again is very strong, and return on equity is phenomenal. The question is, is it viable here? Well, let's look at the technical, the technicals, and what I mean by this is these are the moving averages. Now it's right at the 10-day line, so if you're going to buy it, this would be probably a good place to buy it as it reverses off of that 10-week line there. Let's go to the I'm just going to jump on over to the daily chart to see kind of if we can see an entry point here. And what I'm looking at here, yeah, we pulled down essentially to the 50-day moving average. The 10-week and the 50-day moving average pretty similar in terms of time frame. So that's why they're kind of similar. We've definitely pulled below it, but the question is, how do we end the day here? I'm going to go over to the 60-minute chart and see kind of how the day ended. Well, it definitely ended on an up note. So it looks as if it's coming down. It's getting resistance. I mean, it's getting a floor right about 361. It's moving up. Now the question is, will it open tomorrow? But it definitely looks like it's having at least a weak bounce. There's some nice volume coming in there as well. So I would say that you could definitely put this on. I wouldn't go too strong in this one. Probably just a half a position on this. And what I mean by half a position is basically if your portfolio, if you consider let's say your portfolio is worth $8,000, you divide it by 8, and it gives you 8 $1,000 kind of pizza slices. So think of it in that terms. You don't want to go in with any more than $1,000 with that if your portfolio is worth $8,000. So this helps you protect your portfolio a little bit against a sudden loss. So be very careful when you're going in right now. Right now, it's a tough market. You don't want to go in too heavy. And but you definitely could buy Lilly here. I think it's a great stock. You have to be very patient. It's not very exciting in terms of it's not like it's not like it was just a few little things ago. But it is a good stock. Uh, Also, let's take a look at HL. This is a mining stock. Now, mining stocks have been doing well. There is some action now in the gold stocks, and I want to show you a few of these. Ashante Gold. I want to show you several of these after this, but this is where we might be seeing in the new year. We might be seeing a turn to this area. I'm not familiar with this stock, but it is a gold and silver producer, and it does have it is a gold stock, and that seems to be where we're seeing some strength in this. We're seeing some overall strength in this area. Now, this is a very cheap stock, $5.76. I typically will avoid stocks this cheap, and part of the reason is because I just think that they have an issue, with volatility. Here's what I'd like to do. Let's take a look at this one and let's compare it to another stock that I'm interested in, Ashante Gold. That's AU. So let me put that in there, and let's put in AU. Now, typically these stocks move very, very closely to the price of gold. So if the price of gold moves higher, then we're going to get we're going to get some action on that. So let's take a comparison look between two of these stocks, between this HL mining company and Ashanti Gold. And I also want to put another one in there called KL, which is a interesting stock in that let's put in KLL as well. And what I'm going to do, and this is Kirkland Lake's Gold. KL is the symbol on this one. I want to see what the performance is relative to speaking. Okay, so that's going to be KL. Oh, I guess I'm not getting it. All right, Anglo Gold is on today. So these are pretty similar in terms of where they're going. Let's crank it back. Here's what I'm just gonna look at the last quarter till now because that'll kind of give us a look see, of which one is moving better. HL has definitely underperformed Ashanti. And the advantage of buying a larger share here is because Um, it the advantage of buying larger company is in terms of price movement, it's less volatile. So I'm going to take a gander over here at Ashanti Gold AU as opposed to HL to see if that might work for you. Here we go. So here is this is mining company. Let's go to AU here. Oops. Okay, this is AU. So this is outperforming HL a little bit, the other mining company. And I want to show you this one. Part of the reason I think that this one might be of more interest to you is because we had a gap up today on AU, and you can see it right here. There's a gap up here. This also has a 98 relative strength. So you're starting to see some very nice volume come in to the share. This is a gold mining stock, and that seems to be doing well. I mean, all the gold mining stocks essentially are going to go pretty much in lockstep with each other, but you want to find the ones that have the best kind of overall look. Now, interestingly enough, in the last quarter here, which was in June, I don't know why they haven't reported. We did have sales going up, but we had the per share going down. So that's interesting to me. But I definitely like Ashanti in terms of the gold miners because it's a little bit larger and it has some more. It's looking a little better now. Here's the thing: you kind of got to be a little bit concerned about this too. But Ashanti only has a 5 out of 9, so I would take Ashanti AU over HL, but again, just because it's larger and it's a little bit better capitalized and it's performing a little bit better and it's coming up, but many of the good gold miners they can all be they can all be bought because essentially it's the price of gold, the underlying commodity that is going to that's gonna rule. Commodity stocks definitely a roller coaster because they typically just rise and fall on the strength of the underlying commodity. So that's kind of the deal. But you definitely want to buy one. It's probably a little bit over $5. You don't really want to buy a stock under $5 because the volatility can be so terrible if you don't do it right. Hey, trader. Thank you very much. Hi, Jim. What do you think of buying Boyle and holding it for 3 to 6 months? Well, you know, if I had more confidence in this market, I would I would say that's a good plan. But I tell you, in this market, it's just been up and down very, very much. But let's go over here to Boyle, Boil, and for everybody out there um, that doesn't know about Boyle, it's an ETF that covers that covers natural gas. So let's go over here to Boil. Let's go with the screen. There we go. I think that'll give us a screen on Boil. There we we go. And let me see if I can go to the chart. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is the pro shares. You can see it's the pro shares um, exchange traded fund seeking results corresponding to the 2x of the daily performance of the Bloomberg Natural Gas Index. So basically, if natural gas goes up, this goes up 2x. And basically, what they're holding is they're holding an awful lot of option contracts. So if we're looking at the trend of this, I think we have to say, well, um, it's in a downward trend. Okay, it's in a downward trend. The price of natural gas has been moderating, and it's been going down. So this is, Boyle is in a downward trend. Now, is it gonna reverse and go higher in the next 3 to 6 months? I don't know. I can tell you that I don't know on this one, but I don't want to buy anything in a downward trend. It's just easier to wait for that upward trend. In order for this to move correctly, I think it would have to move above that 200-day moving average, and that's definitely not the case here. So right now, looking at this, I would not buy oil. Right now, looking at this, I would say, don't buy oil right now. And the main reason here is because it's just not in a upward trend. It's just not an upward trend. As you can see, it's in a downward trend. And when you have these downward trends, it's just common sense, and it's common sense to basically not buy it when it's in a downward trend. And that's definitely what we have here with oil. So I would just have to say, you've got to be careful here, and I wouldn't be doing anything there. All right, we have a question from Tesla, and of course, as you know, I've been shorting Tesla as of late. I did have a short on it yesterday that I did close early because I've just day traded it. I've just been a little bit concerned because it is so volatile. But let's look at Tesla. This may be setting up again for another short. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to the 60-minute chart, and let's see if we can get a look-see on that. All right, very good. Okay, so we had, here's the mark here. I have a short that will commence if it gets to this level. So let me show you what that is. I have a price alert. See, I will sell short 62 shares if it reaches above 118.35 or 36. And why would I do that? Well, what I'm looking to do is that stocks typically don't go down straight. They'll come down and then they'll bounce. That's the dead cat bounce, and then they'll come down again, and then they'll bounce. So what I want this to do is move up to about this point, and that's where I'll short it. Now, why would I choose that? Well, let's take a look. Tesla probably is going lower. They've had a number of issues with their China plant, but as you can see, and let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on that on the Tesla chart. This is where I'm going to short it right here, and let's see if I can get it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. There we go. All right. So this is the well, I have to back off a little bit so I can get the bar. There we go. All right. So this kind of shows you what I'm talking about here. We came down. We've been, Tesla's been moving down, 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 and then we had this bounce at the, basically in the last week of December. It bounced up here. I shorted it on the third up day, right before it hit this 21-day move, this 10-day moving average. What's happening is you're starting to see it move up and then get to the 10-day line and then collapse. My take on it right now is I'm probably going to short it uh, if we see it move up to that 10-day line. The question is, where is that 10-day line? Well, let's take a look. The 10-day line is at 121.24. Currently, Tesla is selling for, let's take a look, 113. So I think it's got to move up a little bit. It looks like it's off after hours. It was up strongly today, 113.64, But I do believe, based on this, that we're going to see it possibly move lower tomorrow, as hard as that is to believe. So I want to short it. Now, currently, I have a short in here, basically at my short is a little bit high. So I'm going to probably wait a little bit on this one until we see it move a little bit lower. Okay, there we go. So I have a limit order in at 118.36. Now currently it's at 113. So I'm probably going to bring this down a little bit, maybe to about 115, taking a look at it and seeing if I can get it, because I do think that tomorrow it will move. It'll move up to that 10-day line, and then it will move lower. So that's kind of my take on Tesla right now. Um, with Tesla, you just have to be patient. Right now, Tesla is moving lower. There's just no question about it. And you've just got to you've got to be aware of that. So I would not buy Tesla long. And if we look on over at the chart here, my guess is, and I did a little calculation of this. I tried to put this up on Reddit for everyone, but unfortunately, I don't have enough karma on Reddit, so I couldn't get it to put up. But my guess is that we have the real value of Tesla, I believe, is right about 84. And there's a lot of reasons I believe this, but so I do believe that we have sort of some support right about 84 here. That's where I think the support is. So I definitely think we have a little ways to go before we go lower. We've moved lower than the bottom of this consolidation. So I think the next sort of support is going to be basically back here at about 84. And the reason is because this was right before it started to move to move higher. So there was support basically here. So my guess is that that will continue with Tesla, and yeah, it will continue with Tesla, and so we can probably see some more damage, unfortunately. So let's show you that chart once again here. This is the chart that I'm looking at for Tesla. This is the weekly chart. No, yeah, this is the weekly chart here. As you can see, that line that I've drawn across here, that's 84. We're currently here. I definitely think that we're going to adjust up a little bit, where we're going to continue on the downward track, at least probably another few months. That's kind of what it's looking like. That's kind of like what it's looking like to me, with Tesla. So potentially good short, but you never know. Oh, hey, this is great. Thank you, Sarah, so much for bringing up Boeing. Now, interestingly enough, Boeing is showing a very strong chart, and that one I've looked at possibly buy. I don't own Boeing currently, but this is the one that I'm probably looking to buy if I buy anything long, and that's Boeing. And why? Because, well, half their business is defense, so I suspect they're probably going to do very, very well. Now, would I buy it today? No, it's a little extended. I want to see it pull back. But if this pulls back just a tad, I'm very interested in it at about um, you know a price of about 190 or so, 195. That would be kind of where I'd be looking at it. So wait for the pullback here. It's currently at 203. Possibly if this thing pulls back to about 195 or so, that's where you could buy it. Now it is extended, so the buy point on this was 173.85, and it's above the buy zone. So, but it has a very strong 96 relative strength. So this one is, for most other stocks are still basing. This one I think is already based, and it's turning higher. So definitely Boeing is, you could definitely put this in your arsenal here. I think it's got a lot going for it right now. I think it's based. I think it's gone down as low as it's going to probably go. Though, I mean, never say never, but Boeing did move down way down here, but it's based. It's come out of this base. This is a cup, and this is sort of a handle. That's why you need to wait for it to pull back to about, I would say, about 98 or 95, in that area. That would be a good place to buy it. because you see it's based, it's above the buy point. It's unfortunately it's a little extended because it's extended over the the buy zone, but it's still pretty good. And so yeah, I definitely think that you could definitely do something with Boeing. So Boeing is looking very, very good. I think where you want to look, see, we want to pull back a little bit more, but I think Boeing is a buy at about 198 or so. So that's kind of where I see it. That's kind of where I see it with Boeing. I see it right about, right below that 200 mark. I think that's definitely a place that you could definitely start to a position. I wouldn't start with a huge position. I'd start with a half position on Boeing, but I think it looks very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. So there you go. Hey, happy New Year, Mr. Bomadoc. Well, I always like that you tune in. Yeah, gold, long-term chart pattern analysis. Good question. I wish I was better at the commodities than I am, but let's look at the price of gold and compare it just to see kind of where it's at. So let's look at the gold index. So I'm going to go over to that. Let's see. Yeah, here's the London price fix for gold. And let's do that. And let's go here to make it easier to look at here. There we go. So this is the London price of gold, and as you can see, what's happened with gold is that it drew way down. It drew way down. Put that off there, and now it's coming back. I'm gonna just put that up there so everyone can see it. So this is the gold price as of basically the last year, and you can see we've been in on gold, we've actually been in a downward trend. Okay, the downward trend broke basically at the beginning of November. There's where it broke right there, and now it's been in this upward trend. So the question is, if it continues on this upward trend, where is it going to be? Well, let's look a little closer. I just want to look at the last 90 days on that. So I'm going to go from 9/1/2022 to its present. And from that, it looks like it's on a very nice path upwards. So the question is, how can I find, what can I buy to take advantage of? I definitely think it's on an upward trend. Now, I would look at an ETF called GLD to take advantage of it. Almost exactly tracks the price of gold. So this is a way that you could get an advantage just buying GLD. And this is a very good ETF. So I definitely think that there is a opportunity here. Now, are you going to make a ton of money on this? Probably not, because as you can see, in the last 90 days, it's gone up, but basically it's only gone up really not that much. It's really gone up from about 97 to 109. So, well, I guess it's gone up, over, it's been about 10%. So that's pretty good. So if it continues on this track, I think that would be a good way to go. So one of the ways that you could, one of the ways you could play the gold price is with the ETF GLD, and this is the gold price ETF. And this might be, at least for the for inflation, this might be a good hedge here. Would be the gold ETF, and that is, of course, the symbol on it is GLD, and as you can see, it just almost exactly tracks that price of oil. So that's a great question relative to gold. It seems like the gold miners are doing much better right now than they're doing much better than they've done in a while. So that it does. I mean, gold is starting to get some traction here. So that's pretty amazing. All right. Oh, thank you very much. Special light. Thank you there. That. All right. So let's see. Okay. Here we go, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Let's see. My friend Jim, please take a look at shorting Amazon. Very good choice because what's happening, and Lisa, I think you're picking up on this, is that there's a lot of funds that are in the big cap techs. I've shorted Microsoft today. I did close my short, Apple and Google. Now I've been real careful. I've just kind of gone in and just shorted them quickly and then moved out of them. So, but let's look at Amazon first as a potential short. AMZN, of course, is the symbol for Amazon, and this one I have shorted numerous times. Let's take a gander here. Gotta get my, there we go. So I'm gonna go over to the screen for Amazon. Here we go. Here's Amazon. As you can see, I've shorted it a number of times. It's kind of a little bit messy because I have done it, but I definitely think there's an opportunity here. I want to zoom in on this to see kind of where it is. Now, this is where I want to short it currently. Okay, that's my cover. Okay, so wait a minute. Let's go in a little bit and take a look. I'm just kind of zooming in a little bit because it looks as if today, yeah, okay, so this is probably going lower. Why? Because it came up, it hit that 200-day, it kept um, that 21-day moving average, and then it moved back. But notice very carefully here, there's a reversal going on right now on Amazon. It's pulled down, and now in the after hours, it's up 86.60. Now the question is, how close to the 21-day moving average is that? That's where we would want to short it. 27.27, 87.27. So this is probably where I would consider shorting it because I do think it's going to come up to this to the 20-day exponential moving average, and that's where it's going to reverse, very very likely. So let me zoom in a little bit more. So this might be a good short for tomorrow, but it is, remember, don't short it at 86. Wait until it comes up to at least the 200 the 21-day moving average. Why? Because you can see every time it starts to make a move, it's going to move a little bit above that 21-day line. See, it's done that 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth time. So tomorrow, I expect it to move above that 21-day moving average, probably about 1 or 2%, probably 1%, and that's probably where you want to short it. Is right as it gets between there and there, between the 21-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. So that's kind of where you want to short it. I definitely think it is shortable. Why? Because look at the overall trend. I know everybody wants to go long, but really, I think it's wise to be short because look at this trend. This is the weekly chart. It's just downward. So every time it moves up to the 21-day exponential moving average, it seems to get resistance and move lower. So right now, I wouldn't own it. I wouldn't short it at 86, but I would have limit order possibly at the 21-day moving average. So what's the 21-day moving average telling us? Let's go down here. There we go. So the 21-day moving average is 87.27. So, where you would want to short it and how you would want to short it here would be that you'd want to create a limit order. So let's put that in here. So, create a limit order for Amazon uh, to sell short at 87 27 or higher. So if you were to do this, um, you probably want to go a little bit higher and then move it down. So maybe not quite at 87.27, maybe a little bit below that. So let's go and look at that. And what I'm doing here is I'm zooming out a little bit so you can kind of see it. But 87.20, let's put it, let's edit this for 87.27. And this is the 10-day. Here we go. 21-day. Oops. 21-day moving average for Amazon. Oh, that's going to show us, yeah, right about here. As you can see it. So if it comes up to basically to this green line, that's where you want to consider shorting it. Now to short it, what you do is you basically put in a limit order. I didn't spell that right, did I? You put in a limit order. A limit order to sell Amazon short at 27, 87.27 or higher, right up to that line. So that's where you want to do it. And yeah, you might be pretty successful doing it. A question coming from also from TikTok here. What do you think about NVIDIA? And I want to talk to you a little bit about NVIDIA. I was shorting NVIDIA as well. This is why I've been short on a lot of things. So let's go over here to NVIDIA. I'll show you where I shorted and covered. And we may be back to a point where we can reopen the short here, but let's go to the daily chart here. We did have an uptick today, and there we go. So this is this is NVIDIA. And the question is, we had an update today. You notice how when I shorted before, and it's ticked here, we had 2 updays in a row. I shorted and then boop, it went down. So I suspect we're gonna have an update here. This might be a very good short tomorrow. My guess is it probably will be. Let's go over here to the 60-minute chart to see kind of, yeah. So it's come up to about 150 right there, and the question is, will it go further? Well, you can see that we had it drop. It dropped here. See, that's the thing. Stocks kind of they stair step. They go down and then they bounce and then they come back down. So this one's gone essentially down, and then we've had it come back up a little bit. So I suspect it's probably a good short, as you can see by this here. I think it's a good short, basically at about 151.50. That's where I'm seeing. That's kind of where I'm seeing the resistance. So if you're looking to short NVIDIA, I think that would be possibly a good entry point here for that. So let me put that up here. So, a possible shorting point for NVIDIA is about 150. Oops, is 151.50. So that gives us kind of a look see there. About 151.60. That's going to kind of show us a little bit where we can go on that one. Let's go back to the little bit. Let's go back to the to the chart here. There we go. So let's go to the daily chart. Yeah, there we go. So this is 150, and as you can see, it's almost right at the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average currently is at 154. So and the 21-day is at 154. So basically, they're almost on top of each other. What I would do is I would probably try to be just right below these lines, and I would short it probably about 150, 150, or 152, right in there. We're above the 10-day line and we're below the 21-day line. So that's kind of where I think this is going to move. It's still in a downward trend, as you can see. Um, it's still moving in a downward trend. And though chips did get better today, I definitely think that NVIDIA probably is going to move lower. That's my guess. It's probably going to go lower. I don't know if I'll short this one tomorrow. I kind of want to see how it handles the 21-day line, but I definitely think that we went up, we tested. I definitely think it's going lower. Now it's kind of going sideways, so I want to see a reversal off of that 21-day line before I get too excited about this. Before I get too excited about this. But NVIDIA potentially is setting up to short, and it is setting up to short. So there you go. All right, let's see. Oh, great. Thank you very much, Trader Lion. Shorting Amazon, please. Oh, okay. Also, no, they'll be laying off. Yeah, absolutely. I think that definitely. I definitely think. Oh, yeah. I definitely think you're absolutely onto something here, Trader Lion. Absolutely. I've been shorting Amazon, and I've shorted it like 3 times and covered. I just kind of just short it, take the profit, and then run. But I definitely think that it is shortable, and it's setting up very nicely for that. So good point. And yeah. All right. Let's few questions here. BTU China reopens buying coal from. Oh, interesting. BTU, of course, is Peabody Coal. It's one of the biggest coal miners in the world, and they do buy most of their coal from Australia. The question is, do you think it's going to move higher? You know, I think that it's likely to, but again, the commodities are very, very volatile, and it depends on how. I mean, it's been a relatively so far in Europe, it's been a relatively warm winter. So I would say that yes, possibly because we can't. Here's what happened. It came down. Peabody came down. It hit the 200-day moving average and it bounced. So that's not a bad place to buy it, but it's pretty volatile. I mean, it's pretty volatile, but it has an upward trend, 96. So I definitely think you could probably start nibbling here if you want to see it move up, maybe from where it is about 26.50 on up to about 30. Then I would probably close there, but there might be a little bit of juice there. Um, I it has a very good checklist. It's and even though it's a very very good checklist. So I definitely like BTU. We're basically we're within 5% of the 21-day moving average, so that might not be a bad place to get in on it. But we are 4% below, so we want to be within 5%. There we are. We're within 5%. So looks like BTU is pretty good here for a long. I think that's what you want to go long on that and not short. Not short on it. BTU, you want to go long, and BTU you want to go long and not short. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. All right. Well, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Okay, Tesla. We talked a little bit about Tesla. Oh, let's look at the spider. That'll be the last one, and this is going to kind of give us an idea. I was looking at possibly doing a bear put spread on the spider. Of course, the spider is the ETF that covers the S&P 500. Now, it's held up a lot better than the Nasdaq. I do believe, though, it is going to bounce here. We came up today. We were up just a tad on lower volume. See, this is one of the things that does kind of concern me. We've came up here. It looks like we touched. Let's zoom in. Looks like we touched one of the now. Yeah, we touched we touched the 21-day moving average. My guess is it's probably going to bounce here and probably go lower, but it's sort of consolidating. So it's still kind of, but I do think it is going to go lower. That's my guess. So it's kind of in these railroad tracks here. So when this happens, eventually we'll get a breakout to either a breakout or a breakdown. I think we're going to get a breakdown here, just based on this, just based on this trend here. But you never know in the short term. But I definitely think it's going to go lower. I probably wouldn't. I probably would not short this one here, just because I think it's going to be difficult. Well, thank you, everybody. Um, thanks for joining me again today. If you're not already a member of Dallas Trading Floor, super duper easy. All you have to do is go to www.dallas Trading Floor right here. Also, if you're looking on TikTok, very easy to get on the list, not a problem. All you have to do is jump up to to my bio, click on the link, and you'll get it. It's just first and last name, and you'll be on the list for Dallas Trading Floor. So there you go. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, at 5 o'clock, like always, and we'll go over some more stocks. Hopefully, I'll have some more info on shorting, and because I definitely think that's really kind of in this environment, that's how probably we're going to be making the most money, is to be, it is to be short in a lot of situations. It's just one of those things that we have to, kind of do, because it's just a situation where it's, we probably have to be short, in order to make money in this kind of environment. I definitely think we're in a downward trend. We're still in a downward trend, and it's kind of the way it's going. So, without further ado, thank you everybody for joining. Happy trading, and I will see you tomorrow at 5.